Listen closely, my friends. There is a type of person that you have probably met at least once in your life, maybe in a room full of people, maybe in a quiet conversation, maybe somewhere unexpected. And they were not the loudest person there, not the most dramatically dressed, not performing for anyone, not trying to be noticed. And yet, you noticed them. Something pulled your attention. Not their words necessarily, not what they said or how they said it, something underneath the words, a quality, a specific presence. The feeling that this person is completely comfortable being exactly who they are, that they are not waiting for your approval, not managing your impression of them, not adjusting themselves for the comfort of the room, just completely themselves. And it was magnetic, genuinely magnetic, in a way that the loudest person in the room, with all their effort and performance and careful impression management, simply was not. That quality, that specific quiet magnetism, is not a personality type. It is not something you either have or do not have. It is built through specific daily habits that most people never think to practice, because nobody ever told them that these were the habits. Today, 10 of them, before we begin. I need to be clear about what quiet magnetism actually is, because it is the most misunderstood quality in this entire space. Most people think attractive presence is about charisma, about being funny, about knowing the right things to say, about being interesting. But the Stoics understood something more fundamental. The most magnetic quality a person can have is the specific peace of someone who does not need anything from the room, who is not there to take attention, who is not performing, who is simply, genuinely present. And that presence, that specific settled quality, is not given. It is built through the 10 habits we are about to discuss. Marcus Aurelius had it. Not because he was an emperor, despite being one. The people who wrote about him described a specific quality of someone who seemed completely at home in himself, regardless of what was happening around him. That is what we are building. Let us begin. Habit 1. They master the art of full presence. The magnetically quiet person is the most present person in any room, not the most talkative, the most present. And what presence means, in the specific way that creates magnetism, is this: when they are with you, they are completely with you, not half with you and half somewhere else. Not physically there, but mentally in the next conversation, not listening while also composing their response, fully there. And in a world where almost everyone is somewhere else, in their phone, in their thoughts, in the next thing, the person who is fully present feels like a gift, like being genuinely seen, like being genuinely heard. And being genuinely heard by someone who is fully present is one of the rarest experiences available. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present, not as a spiritual exercise, as the specific daily practice of being completely available to what is actually happening right in front of you. Put the phone away, not just face down, away. Make eye contact that is actually comfortable. Listen without planning the response. Ask the follow-up question. That shows you genuinely heard what was just said." That full presence, practiced consistently, is the foundation of quiet magnetism, because the person who makes you feel genuinely seen is the person you want to be around every time. Habit 2. They speak less, but every word counts. Here is something that most people never fully understand. The value of words is determined by their scarcity. The person who speaks constantly, whose words fill every silence, whose opinion arrives before it was requested, makes every word they say worth less, because it is always there, always available, never earned. But the person who speaks selectively, who pauses before responding, who allows silence without rushing to fill it, whose words arrive with the specific weight of having been chosen rather than just released, makes every word worth more. Epictetus said, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." The quiet person in the room is not quiet because they have nothing to say. They are quiet because they have learned that the quality of what they say matters more than the quantity. And when they do speak, the room notices. Because the room has learned that when this person speaks, it is worth hearing. That is the specific scarcity value of the person who has mastered selective speech. Build it. One unnecessary sentence not spoken at a time. Habit 3. They have a life they are actually excited about. This is the habit that most people miss when they think about magnetic presence. They think presence comes from personality, from confidence, from knowing what to say, but the most genuinely magnetic people have a quality that comes from something else entirely. They have a life they are genuinely engaged with, a project they are building, a skill they are developing, a direction they are moving in, with genuine enthusiasm. That has nothing to do with the room they are in. And that engagement, that specific quality of someone who has somewhere to be, something to build, a life that extends meaningfully beyond this conversation, creates something, dite it. The depth of someone who is not here to get something from this interaction, who is not measuring their worth by whether this goes well, who is simply a full person with a full life, bringing that fullness into this moment. And fullness is magnetic, because most people are performing emptiness, filling the space with noise, because the quiet reveals nothing there. Be the person with something there. Build the life you are genuinely excited about, and bring it into every room, not by talking about it constantly, by being shaped by it. Habit 4. They never speak badly about others. This habit is the one that most directly protects the magnetic quality. Because here is what speaking badly about other people does. It creates a specific feeling in whoever is listening. Two feelings simultaneously. The first, a momentary sense of closeness, the shared secret, the bonding over the criticism. The second, a quiet but persistent thought. What do they say about me when I am not here? And that second feeling, underneath the surface, quietly, removes the sense of safety. The sense that this person can be trusted with the real you, because someone who readily diminishes others will readily diminish you. The magnetic person does not speak badly about others. Not because they never notice flaws, because they understand that the way you speak about the absent is the most accurate demonstration of your character. To those who are present. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Whenever you are about to find fault with someone, ask yourself the following question: what fault of mine most nearly resembles the one I am about to criticize?" That question, before the criticism, almost always changes whether the criticism leaves the mouth. Be the person who does not diminish the absent. It will make you the person everyone wants present. Habit 5. They are comfortable with silence. This is the habit that most people find the hardest, because silence, in social situations, creates a specific discomfort. And most people, feeling that discomfort, immediately fill the silence with words that were not needed, with opinions that were not requested, with the specific verbal rushing that says, "I am not comfortable with this quiet." And here is what that rushing communicates. The silence unsettles me. I need to fill it. I am not comfortable enough in myself to simply be, without the constant covering of sound. But the person who is comfortable with silence, who can sit in the quiet without the urgency to fill it, who allows pauses in conversation without panic, communicates something completely different. I am settled. I am not performing. I do not need the noise to feel okay. And that specific settled quality of someone who does not need the silence filled is one of the most compelling things a person can be. Seneca wrote, "I will govern my inner self and not trouble myself about outer things." The outer silence is the visible expression of the inner governance. Practice sitting in silence, even briefly, even uncomfortably at first. Let it become familiar, and watch what happens to your presence. when you stop needing to fill the space. Habit 6. They do not chase people or approval. This is the habit that perhaps most directly creates the magnetic pull, because here is the paradox that most people never see. The harder you chase something, the faster it retreats. Not because people are cruel, because humans are wired to move toward what seems scarce, and away from what seems desperate. And chasing, the specific forward-leaning urgency of someone who needs the approval, or the attention, or the reciprocation, signals desperation. And desperation, in the social field, repels what it is trying to attract. But the person who is not chasing, who is genuinely okay, whether the approval comes or not, whether the attention is given or not, whether the reciprocation arrives or not, that person signals something completely different. Sufficiency, the specific quality of someone who already has enough, inside themselves, to not need it from you. And sufficiency, in a world full of chasing, is magnetically rare. Epictetus said, "Seek not that the things which happen should happen as you wish, but wish the things which happen to be as they are." The person at peace with what is the person everything is drawn toward. Stop chasing, and watch what comes. Habit 7. They take care of themselves. Genuinely, this habit is not about appearance. It is about the specific message that genuine self-care sends. Not the performative self-care of the highlight reel. The genuine kind, the sleeping enough, the moving the body, the eating in a way that nourishes. The protecting the mental space from the noise and the content and the conversations that consistently drain without building. The setting of the standard for how you treat yourself, that then becomes the standard for how others treat you. Marcus Aurelius believed completely that the body and the mind are one system, that the care of one directly affects the capacity of the other. And the person who genuinely takes care of themselves, not for appearance, but for the specific quality of the life they are building, has an energy, a groundedness, a specific vitality that is visible before they say a single word. And that visible vitality, born from genuine self-care, is one of the most quietly attractive qualities available. Take care of yourself, genuinely, as the foundation of everything else. Habit 8. They remain calm when others are not. This is the habit that creates the most immediate magnetic impact. In any room where tension arrives, where difficulty surfaces, where the emotional weather shifts, and most people begin to react, the person who stays calm becomes the center of gravity, immediately. Not because they did anything dramatic, because they did not. And the not doing, the staying still, while everyone else moved, is the most visible form of strength available. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The first rule is to keep an untroubled spirit. The untroubled spirit, in a troubled moment, is the most compelling presence possible, because it communicates something everyone in the room immediately wants access to, that calm confidence that there is a flaw, evidence that the situation, however difficult, is navigable. And the person providing that evidence, without words, simply through their settled presence, is the person the room turns to, not because they have the answers, because they have the stability. And stability, in an unstable moment, is everything. Habit 9. They are interested, not interesting. This is the most counterintuitive habit on this list, and the one with the most immediate practical impact. Most people, when they want to be more attractive, think about how to be more interesting, more entertaining, more impressive, more worth listening to. And they perform. They tell the better story. They arrive with the prepared observation. They manage the impression, carefully, toward the version of themselves that seems most interesting. But the most magnetically attractive people are not primarily trying to be interesting. They are genuinely interested in the person in front of them, in what they are experiencing, in what they think, in what is alive for them right now. And that genuine interest, That complete attention toward the other person creates the most powerful social experience available, the experience of being genuinely seen, of being genuinely interesting to someone who is paying genuine attention. And people do not forget the person who made them feel genuinely interesting. They seek them out, they return to them. They bring their real selves, because the genuine interest created the safety to do so. Be interested, more than you try to be interesting. And watch what happens to how interesting people find you. Habit 10. They know who they are, and they do not apologize for it. This is the final habit, and the one that all 9 have been building toward, because here is what all the quiet magnetic habits have in common. They are expressions of a person who knows who they are, who is comfortable in that knowing, who does not need external confirmation to feel settled in it. The full presence comes from not needing to perform. The selective speech comes from not needing to fill the silence. The genuine life comes from not needing to impress. The not speaking badly comes from not needing to diminish. The comfort with silence comes from not needing the noise. The not chasing comes from not needing the approval. The self-care comes from genuinely valuing yourself. The calm comes from having a foundation that does not move. The genuine interest comes from not needing to be the center. All of it, every habit, is an expression of the same thing, a person who knows who they are, and is completely okay with that person. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one, not performing one, not convincing anyone of one, simply being one every day, in the small choices, in the quiet habits, in the specific daily practice of knowing yourself, honestly, and showing up as that person, without apology, without performance, without the exhausting management of everyone else's impression of you. That person, the one who knows who they are, and does not apologize for it, is the most genuinely magnetic person in any room. Not because of what they do, because of who they are, and who they are is completely settled. So here are the 10 habits. Rasta full presence. Speak less but make every word count. Have a life you are genuinely excited about. Never speak badly about others. Become comfortable with silence. Stop chasing people and approval. Take care of yourself genuinely. Remain calm when others are not. Be interested, not interesting. Know who you are, and never apologize for it. 10 habits, all of them quiet, all of them powerful, all of them building, one day at a time, the specific quality that the loudest performance could never create. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. The strength that creates the quiet magnetism is not in the performance, it is in the mind. In the specific daily habits that build the settled knowing that nothing outside can shake. Build those habits every day in the small quiet choices, and watch what the quiet builds in every room you enter." Listen closely, my friends. One final time, you do not need to be the loudest. You do not need to be the most impressive. You do not need to perform for anyone. You need to be completely, fully, genuinely yourself, and the self that is completely present, completely settled, completely at home in its own skin, is the most attractive thing in any room, always. Build that self, one quiet habit, one ordinary day at a time. If this gave you something worth building, share it with one person who is exhausting themselves trying to be impressive, and needs to know that the quiet way is the more powerful one. Subscribe for new Stoic wisdom every single week.